And now to the landmark social media addiction trial playing out in Los Angeles right now. Instagram CEO taking the stand today. Its parent company Meta and Google's YouTube are accused of designing their sites to be addictive for younger users. And both companies deny these allegations, saying that they have protective features in place for young people. In a statement today, Meta says, quote, "The question for the jury in Los Angeles is whether Instagram was a substantial factor in the plaintiff's mental health struggles. The evidence will show that she faced many significant difficult challenges well before she ever used social media." So for more on all this, I want to bring in ABC News legal analyst Brian Buckmire. And Brian, it's a fascinating case, but Adam Mosseri, who runs Instagram, he said that it's important to differentiate between clinical addiction and problematic use. But even with that, it was kind of interesting because isn't he kind of acknowledging the issues with their platform?
He's acknowledging to some extent, Alex, and I would frame it as this. He's what we call an adverse witness. The plaintiff is calling him to the stand and not asking these open-ended questions, but instead treating more like a cross-examination because they know they're not going to get the perfect answer out of him. And so he is conceding some points, saying like, hey, I understand automatic scrolling, or what some people would call doom scrolling, you just keep going and going, could be problematic, but it doesn't lend itself to the legal issue here of having an addiction or a mental health issue. So he's trying to differentiate because he can't come out and just say, you know what, there are no problems with social media. That would be an unimaginable argument to one that he wouldn't win. But he's also pushing back through his attorneys and saying, as you read in the quote, that there were issues with this specific person long before they got on social media. In opening statements, we've heard that the young woman was in therapy at the age of 3, that they're going to be presenting information, that there is physical and emotional abuse at the hands of the mother, and that the father abandoned her before a lot of these issues came up. So they're trying to differentiate between what the actual issue is here to avoid liability.
Well, and the other thing, if I understand this correctly, Snapchat and TikTok settled in this case. They were previously named as plaintiffs. They settled in this case last month, I believe. And so how is that impacting Instagram and Google?
So as a part of that quote that you read at the beginning of this segment, where it's about the substantial factor of damages to an individual, the parties that are still there get to kind of point to the proverbial empty chair in the room. We've seen it with YouTube saying that we're not really a social media platform in the same way that Instagram is, for example. And so with Snapchat and others, like TikTok already taking a plea, they could, in a sense, say, you know what, TikTok's addicting. Look at what happened with the Senate and the whole issue of trying to keep that going. Instagram is an issue, but not us, YouTube. And so them settling could create another argument. But if they are found liable, TikTok and Snapchat get to say, hey, look, they're the issue, not us. We don't need to change. So it's a bit of a good and bad for both sides there.
Okay. Brian Buckmire for us. Thank you as always.